Many of us in the Northern Hemisphere might now be looking forward to our summer holidays, perhaps a trip to the seaside for time spent on the beach and a swim and a paddle in the water.
You can splash me if you want to. You can splash me if you want to. But not in the art swimming. I wish I was swimming. I wish I was swimming.
The joys of swimming conveyed by the US folk and pop band Breathe Owl Breathe. But is swimming an activity that's become racialised in some parts of the world? Research carried out last year by the government body in the UK, Sport England, showed that 95% of black adults and 80% of black children in England don't swim. And a World Health Organization study last year suggested that people who belong to an ethnic minority are at greater risk of drowning. Well, Ed Accura is a filmmaker who's become a campaigner for swimming. He set up the Black Swimming Association here in the UK to encourage black people to swim, and he's produced 3 films examining why they generally don't. The latest is being released on Monday, and it's called Blacks Can't Swim Rewind. And he's here. Welcome, Ed.
Good morning.
Good morning. So what is the answer to the question that you're seeking an answer to?
So basically, I know the answer to the reason why I didn't swim, because I've only just learned how to swim. 55 years. I started learning how to swim at the age of 53. I know the answer to all the interviewees in the film documentaries, but to understand everybody else's reason why they don't swim, we are conducting a survey, the hashtag Our Swim Story, as part of the Black Swimming Association, the first of its kind. There's so many reasons. Various different people have different reasons, but in order to understand why everybody, so many people, you mentioned 95% of black adults, 80% of black children in England, we have to do this research, and here's the reason why we're doing the research with 1,400 people to understand, to see if there's any common ground as to why we don't swim.
Let's hear one voice from your film. This is a middle-aged woman explaining the challenges that she faced when swimming when she was growing up.
For me, with my locks, I used to wear plastic bags on my hair. Literally a plastic bag. And it was the best hair thing for me before I started getting proper swimming hats, because people get going, is that a plastic bag on your head? But I perfected it. I'd put it on, and then I'd get a tights, the end of the tights that you could just wrap around the end, then put another plastic bag, and that kept my hair the driest. And I only used plain colour plastic bag. I was not going to be advertising any shops for no money.
So that's one answer to the question you're posing. How keen are people to take part and offer you their stories here?
Very, very keen. When I finished the sequel was about speaking to the 16 to 25-year-olds about their personal journey as to why they didn't or did swim. I said to myself, I'm going to give myself a break. I said to Mr. X, the director of the film documentary, that we're going to have a break for at least about a year. After the premiere, I had all these people contacting me, mothers, adults, saying that as a result of watching it, brought back their memories of why they don't swim, or the issues they had and such. And so that's why I did Rewind, because Rewind is basically going back, rewinding back to the parents and adults to understand their personal journey. So it's almost as if every time I bring out a new film documentary, I get more people talking about the issue, which is a great thing, because that's the whole thing.
Well, it becomes self-fulfilling, doesn't it?
We want people to talk about it. So,
I'm going to invite my guest to offer very brief thoughts, because time is relatively tight. Maya, a quick thought from you.
Yeah, no, I think really great that you're doing this work, and I think one of the things I was thinking about is, the professional swimmer Alice Deering's talked about the institutional racism that she's faced, training to swim, and I think this stigma is very, very real. And the place that I actually swim, and I only got into swimming quite recently, started selling swimming hats for people with locks, afro hair, and I think that shift is really necessary, but it's too slow.
Anatole, a brief thought, if you would.
I mean, is it also to do with the closure of public swimming pools through austerity?
Yes, it plays a part, but we're not swimming anyway. So, whether pools are open or closed, it to some degree doesn't really make, it's not that impactful. But when people decide they want to swim, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So, and Also, I'd like to say Alice Deering is one of my co-founders of the Black Swimming Association, which we co-founded with Sarah Jones and Daniel Obi. So basically, everything that's been just said is a huge issue. But at least if we start talking about it, it makes it easier for us to do it.
Yeah. We've only literally got 20 seconds left. How does it feel to be a swimmer now?
Oh, feels great.
Good.
Feels great. But can I just say that
Briefly.
BlacksCanSwim.com, the film is out on the 4th of July, this Monday. So go there and watch the film.
Ed, thank you. Thank you to Maya. Thank you to Anatole. Back at the same time tomorrow.